The new season of Squid Game reveals a plethora of intriguing secrets. It even includes several nods to legendary players from the first season. Today on our channel, we will examine the curious details and mysteries of the new installment of Squid Game. At the very beginning of the red light, green light game, Ki-hun checks his tooth to make sure the tracker installed by his friends is still in place. However, he discovers the tracker has been removed and is completely horrified. At this moment, he says the phrase, "I'm done for." The camera zooms in on him. This scene almost mirrors the moment from the first season when the players participated in the sugar honeycomb game. Back then, Ki-hun realized he had been given the umbrella shape, which is extremely difficult to cut out. He also said the exact same phrase at that time, and the camera zoomed in on him in the same way. These parallels emphasize the emotional tension of the protagonist and create references for fans who are closely following the development of events. The season begins with Ki-hun hunting for Squid Game recruiters. To do this, he teams up with a mafia boss who has several henchmen under his command. This character already appeared in the first season. He is the same loan shark who beat Ki-hun for failing to repay his debts. Apparently, after the events of the first season, Ki-hun found this man to settle his debts and hire him as an ally. After the doll game ends, all the players are terrified, but Ki-hun steps up to talk to the guards. He declares that they now have the right to vote, in accordance with the third rule. This scene with Ki-hun is very similar to one where Sae-byuk in the first season also referenced the third rule. If you enter Squid Game in Google, a special card appears at the bottom. Clicking on it automatically starts a mini-game identical to the doll game from the series. In this game, you can participate along with other players. Like in the show, move on the W and D keys and stop to avoid being detected by the doll. Of course, if you lose, there won't be any gunshots or blood. The eliminated player simply disappears. If you win, you will be greeted with a celebratory animation. During the red light, green light game, a transgender character saved Ki-hun's life when he almost fell. This moment happens almost identically to how it did in the first season. Let's remember that back then in the doll game, Ki-hun fell near the finish line but was saved by Ali. That's when we realized that Ali was a kind and very reliable person. In this installment, a similar role is played by the transgender Hyun-ju. After this moment, she becomes a reliable ally and an important element of the whole story. It should be noted that Hyun-ju is based on the real-life person Byun Hee-soo. Byun Hee-soo is the first Korean soldier in history to undergo sex reassignment surgery, becoming a woman. She was a staff sergeant and insisted on remaining in the army, but she was forcibly discharged. Many were surprised that the frontman decided to participate in the games. But why did he do it? The answer seems to be hidden in the first season. In the final episode, we were shown a flashback where the frontman was talking to Il-nam, the creator of the games. In this conversation, the frontman asked the old man why he decided to participate in the games himself. Il-nam replied with the phrase, "The best way to enjoy these games is to play them yourself." It seems that these words really influenced the frontman, and that is why he decided to participate in the games again after so many years. In the first episode, Ki-hun's friends were forced to play a deadly game organized by the recruiters. However, at the end, the mafia boss deliberately lost so that his subordinate could survive. He did this because they were friends. He officiated his wedding and promised to take care of him. This sacrifice reminds us of the marbles game from the first season. Back then, Ki-hun's friend Sae-byuk befriended a young girl. In the end, the girl deliberately lost so that Sae-byuk could survive. These parallels show that sacrifice and loyalty to friends remain important themes in the series. A major controversy has erupted online regarding the casting of the transgender character in the series, played by actor Park Hoon, who is not a member of the LGBTQ community in real life. The dissatisfaction stems from the expectation that a real transgender actress would play the role. In response to the criticism, the series director Hwang Dong-hyuk stated that he indeed wanted to cast a transgender actress, but it proved very difficult as there are not many actresses in South Korea who openly identify as such. Therefore, they had to cast a man for the role. In the post-credits scene, a new doll appears. According to the series director, his name is Cheol-soo, and he is the boyfriend of the original doll. This new doll is based on a character from Korean children's books. It's worth noting that the original doll was also inspired by a character from a book. Her name is Young-hee, and in the books, she was very close friends with Cheol-soo. These details add depth to the plot, connecting elements of the show with Korean culture and children's literature. Many believe that the post-credits scene shows a game in which Park Hoon will participate in the third season. However, this might not be the case. In this scene, we see a player with the number 100. This player has already appeared in the season and was introduced as that sinister old man. However, if you look closely at the scene, you can see that the person with the number 100 doesn't have gray hair and doesn't look old. This means that perhaps it's not the same player. The theory is that this scene is from the past. Perhaps it is a game that the frontman participated in when he was still a player. Let's remember that he won the games in 2015. Perhaps he faced this version of the doll. In the 4th episode, Thanos beats up a blogger, but player number 1 intervenes. A dispute breaks out between them that escalates into conflict when Thanos tells him, "Go home and raise your children." After this, player number 1 loses his composure and beats him up. This behavior has a clear explanation. Player number 1 is the frontman. Due to his brother, we know that the frontman's wife died while pregnant. This means that he lost his child many years ago. That is why he could not stand Thanos' phrase and let his emotions take over. These details add depth to the character of the frontman, revealing his inner wounds and vulnerabilities. At the end of the season, it becomes known that the captain of the ship was a traitor and sabotaged the policeman's plans from the very beginning. This information becomes even more interesting if we remember that he spent 2 years at sea with the policeman, exploring the ocean in search of the Squid Game island. Now, knowing the truth, we can understand that the captain was working for the front man from the very beginning, hiding the location of the island during all the searches. Moreover, it can be assumed that the front man hired this man initially to save his brother. Let's remember that in the final of the last season, the front man shot his brother in the shoulder. It is likely that after this, he called the captain to help heal and care for his brother all these years. We all remember the song from the carousel game that got stuck in viewers' heads. But where did it come from? It is a very popular children's song in South Korea, the title of which translates as "Round and Round." This melody, taken from children's culture, adds a sinister note to the show, showing how elements of innocent childhood turn into a tool of psychological pressure in deadly games. Critics point out that it seems illogical how Ki-hun could have had his tracker removed from his mouth, while other characters managed to bring dangerous items into the game. For example, Thanos brought substances, and an elderly woman brought a knife. However, this is not a mistake at all. The goal of the game is to entertain the VIP viewers, so the organizers allow participants to bring items that can lead to violence or add dynamics, making the spectacle more exciting. But in the case of Ki-hun, the tracker could have destroyed the entire structure and purpose of the game, disrupting the order and revealing their location. That is why his tracker was removed. In the new season, a woman appears who serves in the ranks of the guards. She reveals that she escaped from North Korea, leaving her 1-year-old daughter there. In one of the scenes, she communicates with a man who helps her find her child. This man is the same person that Sae-byuk SBK contacted in the first season. Let's remember that Sae-byuk also fled North Korea and turned to this man for help to transport her mother to South Korea. In this same episode, Ki-hun also meets with this man. They work together to help Sae-byuk's mother move to South Korea. These intersections show how the destinies of the characters continue to intertwine, creating emotional connections between the past and present. If you search for Squid Game 2 on TikTok, you will find an option to participate in a thematic game based on the series. As part of this event, you can earn points by playing games similar to those shown in the series and receive rewards. In the season finale, we see player number 246 being shot. At first glance, it seems that he is dead. However, if you look closely, you can see that the guard who shoots him is wearing a mask with a triangle, like the girl from North Korea shown earlier. This girl had already met 246 and his daughter and felt sympathy for them. This leads to the suggestion that she simply wounded him to hide him among the bodies, selected for illegal manipulations with the participants' bodies. Most likely, she will help him escape in the 3rd season. Some viewers expressed dissatisfaction with the 2nd season, calling it weak and criticizing it for its unfinished final. However, this was planned from the very beginning. As the director stated, the 2nd and 3rd seasons were filmed simultaneously and conceived as a single story, divided into 2 parts. This explains why the 2nd season seems unfinished. Its culmination and conclusion are planned for the 3rd season. Many wonder why player 388, Daeho, froze at the end of the season. This seemed especially strange during the mass shootout in the finale. However, if you carefully analyze the episode, it becomes clear that he has been numb since the beginning of the uprising. Throughout the chaos, Daeho was constantly hiding, while others were actively shooting. His behavior indicates a fear of weapons. This leads us to 2 possible theories. The first is a traumatic event in the past. Perhaps something happened to him during the war that caused a strong fear of weapons. The second theory suggests that he never underwent military training and simply lied about it to appear more experienced. Which of these theories seems more likely to you? But that's all for me. If you enjoyed the analysis, please give it a like. Thank you for watching and see you in new videos.